Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News First at 4 starts now.
Good afternoon, I'm Karen Drew. First at 4, we are tracking some very severe weather in southeast Michigan. This is the radar right now, and things are changing minute by minute. Wind gusts could reach 70 miles an hour, and we've already heard about more than 26,000 power outages. Ben Bailey standing by. This kind of storm is unusual for us, Ben.
Yeah, Karen, we expect this line to pretty much affect everybody, but some of these gusts could reach hurricane force. These are the kinds of storms that you have to be inside, get away from windows, and stay inside until those storms have passed. We're going to start you out in Sanilac County. If you're not under a warning now, you probably will be within the next hour. This line is going to affect everybody. We saw some rotation within the cell, although right now that severe thunderstorm warning is still in effect there. Storm Tracker 4 showing that it is moving off to the northeast, and that warning is in effect until 5 p.m. tonight. Let's go a little bit further south. Just about everybody has the orange box surrounding their county, indicating a severe thunderstorm warning. This one here in Oakland County until 5 o'clock. You can see some of the times that are showing up there on the right side of your screen. As we get back closer to the core of the line, that's out there in Livingston County. And again, you can see that northeast direction, and Storm Tracker 4 showing about 75, 3/4 of an inch hail coming out of that storm, and more of those warnings all the way to the south. Again, the straight line winds will be the biggest threat. And as we take a look at the bottom line with the storm, we expect between now and about 10 o'clock tonight is when we expect most of those storms to be approaching, maybe 9 p.m., depending on how fast the cold front moves. Everybody's going to be effective, and by an exception of the damaging winds, we also could be seeing an isolated tornado and also large hail. So we'll continue to track these multiple warnings throughout the evening. Karen, back to you.
All right, we appreciate it. Thank you, Ben. Warren police released a new video today of a confrontation between a white police officer and an African-American delivery driver. Dashcam video showing the officer confronting that driver for improperly parking his Amazon truck. Police say the driver failed to show his ID and resisted arrest. Now, cell phone video captures the aftermath of the struggle. Now, Warren Police Commissioner Bill Dwyer is recommending felony charges against the delivery driver.
The driver was charged with resisting and obstructing a police officer, failure to obey a lawful command, and failure to produce a driver's license. He was also issued a citation for illegal parking with left wheel to curb. He was later released on personal bond. Neither the subject nor the officer were injured nor requested any medical attention.
An internal affairs investigation is underway right now to determine if the officer used excessive force. He's been placed on paid administrative leave. Weather might be a challenge for what's become a nightly event in downtown Detroit. We can see a few demonstrators are gathering at this hour, very few right now. This would be the 13th night in a row. We'll keep an eye on things and, of course, bring you updates as needed. If you're thinking about going out, obviously, please pay attention to the forecast. The calls for change were also heard at the state capitol today. You're looking at the We Are Done Dying March in Lansing. The NAACP Youth and College Division was one of the groups organizing the march. One of their messages, all communities, even those not affected by racial inequality, should come together to work for change. Powerful message to Congress today from George Floyd's brother. His brother testified at a House Judiciary Committee hearing on police reform, saying it is up to lawmakers to make sure that his brother didn't die in vain. Sandra Ali in the newsroom following this for us with the very latest. And Sandra, Floyd flew to the nation's capital just after burying his brother yesterday in Houston.
That's right, Karen. Floyd's brother appeared before a committee that is set to take up a Democrat-backed police reform bill. In fact, it would ban chokeholds like the kind used on George Floyd. Philanese Floyd said he hopes his brother's death changes the world.
I'm tired. I'm tired of pain. Pain you feel when you watch something like that. When you watch your big brother, who you looked up to for your whole life, die begging for his mom. I'm here to ask you to make it stop. Stop the pain. Stop us from being tired.
In a hearing that has lasted much of the day today, Floyd told the committee he believes his brother's death was premeditated, and he also said he thinks former officer Derek Chauvin should have been fired from the force long ago. He also said that he's hoping that they make law enforcement the solution, not the problem.
Hold them accountable when they do something wrong. Teach them what it means to treat people with empathy and respect. Teach them what necessary force is. Teach them that deadly force should be used rarely and only when life is at risk. George wasn't hurting anyone that day. He didn't deserve to die over $20. I'm asking you, is that what a black man is worth?
The Floyd family attorney told Congress that there needs to be a national standard for police behavior, saying it should be mandatory for officers to wear body cameras. Ohio Republican Jim Jordan also weighing in, calling Floyd's death a tragedy, but denouncing the calls by some activists to defund police departments. Karen, of course, we're going to be following this legislation for you. For now, we'll send it back to you.
All right. Thank you, Sandra. Right now, companies of all sizes are grappling with what and what not to do in the workplace during the newly energized civil rights movement following Floyd's death. One local company says the answer doesn't have to be that difficult. Paula Tutman talked to the CEO of Flagstar Bank, who drew a roadmap to change, starting at his own front door.
Creating avenues of opportunity is not new for Flagstar Bank, but what is new is the company's outreach to others to level the playing field.
I grew up in Detroit.
Sandro Danilo became acutely aware of racial inequities and injustice at age 13. He remembers because it was the day after the rebellion that led to the 1967 riots.
It left a lasting impression on me. Unfortunately, we haven't made the kind of progress that we should have made through all of those years.
As CEO, he's been pushing for measurable, visible evidence of equality and inclusion since 2017. And he's essentially saying to other companies, both big and small, to dive in.
We have to change. We have to get better. I think the CEO of every organization should sign the CEO Action for Diversity and Inclusion Pledge. Last time I looked, less than 20 CEOs in this state had signed that pledge. Why? I'm going to do my best to make sure that people of color have an opportunity, so that our HR team knows, don't bring me a slate of candidates that isn't diverse. Because if I don't have a diverse person to choose from, how can I possibly choose one?
Flagstar's $5 million investment in the Old Redford community meant commerce and home ownership was put in reach of minorities.
When you own your own business and have your own home, you have a space and a place where you can raise a family in a safe environment, in a healthy environment. You have a business where you can provide for your children and your family and each other. So anytime a corporation like Flagstar can help nonprofits like Blightbusters create those opportunities, it levels the playing field.
We actually have a branch right in that area. The manager that actually supports it actually also grew up in that area. So when we hire and when we take a look at the representation, even within our branches, we want to make sure that they represent the community.
If we're all white people sitting in this room, we're going to start hiring people. Right. If there's nobody, if we do have some people of color, but none of them are in management, we're going to start training people so that they can rise up into the organization. You have to look at your own company and say, where are the weaknesses? What haven't we done? Make a commitment, say, this is what we're going to do. And you just got to do it. Time heals, right? We feel the pain right now, and every time something like this has happened in the past, a couple, 3, 4 weeks goes by, everybody forgets about it, we go back to our normal ways. I'm hoping, I really think this might be different.
Paula Tutman, Local 4.
The Flagstar CEO says the roadmap to creating racial equity in the workplace begins with hiring, developing, and promoting minorities of all kinds. Friends and family and fellow officers gather to say goodbye to a Detroit police officer who died 3 years after he was shot on duty. Today's funeral service took place at the Unity Baptist Church in Detroit for Officer Waldus Johnson. He was shot in the head responding to a domestic violence call back in 2017. Last week, he died from his injuries. Tonight at 5, you will hear how Chief James Craig remembered him and how Johnson was honored by Detroit City Council. The search for a coronavirus vaccine is speeding up, and more local businesses are coming back to life. Drug maker Johnson & Johnson says it will start human testing of its possible vaccine in the second half of July. It was originally going to start in the fall. Here at home, 19 restaurants in the Greektown district are working to reopen this week. Many started Monday, while downtown Brighton is closing Main Street to traffic to give businesses more space for social distancing. We just received new numbers from the state, reporting 13 new deaths in the past 24 hours and 171 new cases of the virus, still trending in a positive direction. We'll keep you posted. Still ahead, airline safety. We'll talk about one company that is going to require you to sign a health agreement before flying. And if you're sick and tired of robocalls, we have a story for you. Someone is facing a huge penalty. Up first, there are new charges in the investigation swirling around these missing children. Their stepfather was just in court. We'll tell you where things stand. Ben. Severe weather alert right now. Strong storms moving into Metro Detroit. Ben's using Storm Tracker 4 for the most accurate prediction of exactly where these storms will go. He is back in just a few minutes with an up-to-the-minute data report.